and welcome to Wilcox Arcade. I'm your host, the eponymous Dustin Wilcox, and today I'd like to discuss with you a new game from UNIS. That's Universal Space for y'all lay people out there, and it's called CrazyRide. Believe me, it's going to take a lot of takes to edit out all the times I mistake it with Crazy Taxi. Now, I myself am a big fan of games like Crazy Taxi, Jumbo Safari, Raw Thrills, and Specular Interactive's Batman, and I really enjoy the idea of freedom in my arcade games. So when it's kind of pseudo open world, that's really fascinating to me. So it's really nice to see this type of gameplay return. Now, CrazyRide is exactly as it sounds. It is very, very similar to Sega's Crazy Taxi in pretty much every way. You know, you could call it an homage or you could call it a knockoff. It's kind of up to your own your own discretion. And for me, it's just nice to see this style of gameplay in an arcade setting in 2019. Now, CrazyRide differentiates itself in that it is the first ever ride-sharing arcade game. This means that it's just Crazy Taxi, but instead of taxis, you're an Uber or Lyft driver, a brandless Uber or Lyft driver. You get the idea. Now, there are multiple characters and vehicles to choose from. When I was watching it, the trailer, I counted 8 distinct characters as they flash through. And based on the gameplay, there appear to actually be a lot of unique NPCs, which is really, really cool. Because, in Crazy Taxi, I remember the passengers after a while would all look the same. And I'm hoping that's not the case here. But, of course, we only got, 2 minutes of trailer. So I'm not for sure just yet. And the scoring system also appears to be similar. I'm not sure how ranking will go, but it appears that when you drop off a passenger, they give you money, of course. Only thing is the figures appear to be grossly inflated. I saw that there was somebody with $13,743 sum. That's a little. I don't know what kind of ride sharing company they run in, but Now, another way CrazyRide is different. That's very, very interesting, but also kind of samey, kind of stale. Is the nitro mechanic that was not in Crazy Taxi? Granted, that's a completely different game, but now you'll be able to do a speed boost, just like pretty much every modern arcade game, modern driving game, I should say. A lot of them all have nitro mechanics. I guess people just like going fast. They like to feel like they're going faster, even if the rubber banding may negate that in some way. There's also what the trailer describes as a thrilling leaping experience, which all that is to say is that there are ramps and you can jump off them and do tricks. It's really nothing revolutionary. It's just throwing in other driving game mechanics in this Crazy Taxi-esque experience. Now, all these gameplay activities are performed in what appears to be a very expansive and detailed city map. We don't have any real numbers to describe the size. If I remember correctly, Batman's map was 10 square miles. I don't know how true what I said is, but there's a picture of the map online, and you'd probably find it. And based on what I see, the map is just beautiful and CrazyRide, but I want to make absolutely certain that it is as large as UNIS is suggesting, because I don't want this to be an empty experience. You know what I'm saying? And so far, I don't get the feeling that it will be empty. It looks like a very lively environment. But, we'll see once the game is released and we get to try it. And one thing that also was super interesting is 8-player online competition was advertised. We have no idea, based on the trailer, how this will play out. But something tells me it's just, the single-player experience, but you're competing with others maybe in real time for the highest score. It could just, maybe it's who lasts the longest, because how in Crazy Taxi, once again a different game, but very similar. In Crazy Taxi, you'd go until you ran out of time. I'm curious to see if the multiplayer is that concept, but survival of the fittest, who can last the longest. We'll have to see. Once we get more details later on. That's something UNIS definitely needs to provide as IAPA approaches. Now, less importantly, the cabinet looks pretty cool. I saw it noted online by good friend Adam Pratt of ArcadeHeroes.com that the cabinet is basically identical to the Cruise and Blast motion seat variant that UNIS released in China. And it seems to boast a lot of the same features. There's a 43-inch monitor, which for a modern arcade game isn't gigantic, but I don't care. I don't really want these gigantic 55-inch monitors in my face, so 43 is pretty cool to me. The resolution was not specified, though. I'm going to assume it's 1080p, but it'd be really nice if it were 4K, because it's getting to the point where these arcade game developers aren't taking advantage of the fact that they can put the latest and greatest technology on display. But that's tangential at best. There's a motion platform. Like I said, it's like the Cruise and Blast motion variant. So your seat will move back and forth as you turn. That's kind of cool, I suppose. I liked motion simulation in Afterburner Climax, but overall it doesn't like radically change my experience. There's also a fan for wind effects, so that'll be kind of cool as you're driving to feel the wind. I know I played I played Arctic Thunder one time at a pizza place in Jackson, Michigan, the Parlor, in fact, and that was really cool to feel wind effects in full force for the first time, because I couldn't think of an arcade game I had played before that where I felt it. Maybe Winter X Snowboarder from Rothro's. And I think I'll like it in CrazyRide. Once again, it'll be a totally supplementary gimmick, but it'll be cool. But what's really quite off the beaten path is the 7-inch navigation touchscreen. Now, the only other time I can think of in recent memory a miniature screen was added onto the cabinet was, what was it called? It was that Sega game where you hunted dinosaurs. I apologize, I forget the name. I'll add it in post, but I'm sure you all know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's very interesting to see it here now. Based on the trailer, it appears to be sort of like a GPS feature, like you're holding out your phone to the side of you and you get to look at the map, see where you're going. I imagine it's entirely superfluous because the gameplay HUD that we saw in the trailer has the same exact green arrow from Crazy Taxi. So I don't know how helpful it'll be. I think it'll be really interesting and cool, but I don't know if it'll be like totally necessary. We'll only know once we play it, of course, but I'll be watching that feature closely. I really hope they don't remove it in the final build, but anything can happen. But yeah, overall, I'm really excited for CrazyRide. It seems to be a very different experience from any driving game we've seen in a few years now. I like unique stuff, even though it is just Crazy Taxi, but by UNIS and with ride sharing, it's really quite comfortable to see this gameplay experience return in its shining glory. You know, I like this kind of stuff, and I hope to see more of it. I don't like the stagnation of genre diversity we've seen, where it's like every game's the same rail shooter, the same racer. I want something new. I want something exciting, and it's, I mean, admittedly, it's kind of a shame that the only thing new and exciting for us is borrowed concepts from 20 years ago, but I digress. I think CrazyRide will be really cool. I cannot wait to play it myself. And speaking of UNIS, I still haven't played Fantasy Soccer, and that was one I was super excited for. So, guess I got some UNIS stuff to catch up on. I try to keep y'all posted if anything else comes up about CrazyRide. But until then, I wanted to throw my thoughts out in a really impromptu manner, and I consider that done. So thank you very much for watching Wilcox Arcade, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.